Okay, we have to talk about Barony because this is a fantastic game that nobody talks about and I want to champion. I want to talk about it. I'm making this review because I often am just trying to review the newest things that have come out, and I decided that I wanted to work against people finding me on YouTube and people being interested in watching my videos and talk about something that deserves to be talked about, and that's this game, Barony. Barony is such a great two-player game. It says it's 2 to 4. I feel it's best at a two-player game because it's a very tactical head-to-head style of game, and if you get more players, sometimes you can get into that sort of king-making situation, right? Where one person has to attack one or the other, and whoever they attack, well, will lose, and the person who they don't attack will win. So that's the only downside, but even still, you could play it at 3 and 4 and it would still be pretty fun. My pitch about Barony is usually if you took Splendor, it's by the designer of Splendor, Marc-Andre, Catan, and Go, and you mash them all together, you would get Barony. It has the same action efficiency as Splendor. It has the same gathering resources from spots from Catan. And I mean, a lot of games do this, but I say Catan just for familiarity of the resource gathering genre. And it has the tactical strategy of something like chess or Go. Here's the game. You're going to set out a random bunch of tiles to create a map that will create a modular board, and then you get to put down 3 giant houses. These giant houses will be where you spawn your knights out of. This placement is very important for the game as well. It will determine your success and your efficiency in the game. In a lot of ways, like Catan, the outcome of your game is decided slightly upon your placement, which I tend to enjoy. You're going to put these big old houses there, put some knights there, and then on your turn, you get to do one of 6 things. Very similar to Splendor, you get to do one of 3 things. Here, you get to do one of 6 things. It's double better than Splendor. But these things are very simple. You can recruit, add new knights to the board. You can move 2 knights, 1 space each. You can expand, where your knights spontaneously combust into little houses. That's the real story behind Encanto. And you get to take a resource token matching the type of land that they put a house on and put it into your supply. These tokens are worth points. How do you use those? We'll get to that in a second. You can also make your knights explode into various buildings, some of which you have limited quantity of, but will give you additional benefits. Basically like holding down a spot, making it so it's an impenetrable spot on the board that your opponents can't move into. You can upgrade one of your tiny cities into a big city. This will give you 10 points. Wow, that sounds like a lot of points, doesn't it? You basically won if it was Catan. Or you can spend the resource points that you've acquired, you can spend them in chunks of 15. You can only spend 1 chunk of 15 at a time as your action. You have to wait until your next action if you wanted to spend another chunk of 15 to move along this little score track. You see, you only have to do it 4 times to get to the end. When somebody gets to the end, they trigger the end of the game. Whoever has the most points wins. And that's why getting those 10 points are important, because if I steam ahead to 60 and then you're able to get to 70 because you've upgraded one of your cities, well then hey, 70 is bigger than 60 and you win. That's it. So it's all about moving your people as quickly as possible, getting the best spots on the board. Each different land tile is worth a different amount of points, with the farmland being worth the most points. And it is this race to get to the end. The other part of this that makes it very strategic and like chess is that if you move 2 of your knights into a place with someone else's town, someone else's city, you destroy that city, you wipe it from the map, and you get to steal one of their resources. Your choice, you obviously take the one that's the best. And so that's how, if you're expanding too quickly, somebody can come through and really just take you out. So you want to leave your knights to protect those cities, but you also want to have all of your knights keep expanding, because then you can construct them all at once and get a huge windfall of points and then go boom, boom, and win. It's just such a delightful tactical puzzle that is so much fun. And the components are such great quality too. You get your own little meeples and horses and people, and they're in different shades of the color to help distinguish the ones that can actually move on the board versus ones that don't move on the board. You could play as Joffrey, clearly Joffrey from the Dolphin Clan. That's who people often refer to me as. And that's how you play the game. I just cannot express how much fun I have with this game when I get it to the table. And I don't get it to the table that much because it requires a very specific type of person to play. You really want to have someone who's interested in that tactical back and forth, who don't mind pinpointing different areas on the map, striking at the right moment, maximizing the efficiency of their actions. If all of that sounds interesting to you, then you should definitely check out Barony and pick it up. If it doesn't, well then I don't know what to tell you. It seems like nothing will make you happy, Mom, and you should just stop trying. This is one of those underrated titles that I think people need to check out. I've talked about it a bit on the channel, and so I wanted to give a full breakdown of what the actual gameplay is, because it's really solid. I like it a lot, and if you're interested in, again, that tactical action efficiency, if that makes you excited, or you wanted Splendor to be aggressive area control and cutthroat, well then absolutely check this one out. And if you don't like that sort of stuff, well then hey, stay away, that's fine. But I feel like a lot of board gamers like that aspect of efficiency and being the most efficient around the table. A lot of games deal with that sense of action efficiency, and if you don't mind that with a little bit of area control, you should check it out. I could go on longer, but I would just keep on saying positive things and how much I like it. I hope this gave you a good sense of it, just a smaller size review. My microphone is dying anyway, so I've got to call it. But obviously this gets the room and board, seal of distinction, official rating. I haven't played the expansion of it. I don't feel like I would ever need to because the base game experience gives me so much joy. I hope that more people get to know about this game. I was at Origins, and I was talking to the Madagot rep about this, and he said, or about the games in general. It's like, I was like, oh, we've Barony. I love Barony. He's like, yeah, nobody's even looked at Barony. Everyone's been looking at everything else, buying other games, haven't sold a single copy of Barony. And that has sat with me for like 8 months. And I've had to make this video to right those wrongs, to shout into the ether, and hopefully somebody will hear me. I think this game is great, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. Anyway, if you're interested in Barony, hopefully that gave you a good enough sense about the game. Very simple. Oh yeah, the sixth action, which I didn't mention, is you can permanently discard one of your horses to place a horse anywhere else you want on the board. This is not efficient. You probably don't want to do it, but you can do it if you get boxed in, or if there's one little section in the corner where nobody can get to that's going to be worth a lot of points, then it might make sense to go put that person out there. It's kind of like a last-ditch effort. It doesn't come up too often, but it's good that it exists for when you do get blocked off and you cannot continue to expand. That helps you get back into the game as well. All right, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. My name is Chris George. I don't have a catchphrase, and I don't have a friggin' clue why this isn't in the top 100 on Board Game Geek. I don't know what it is. Let's check it while our microphone dies. I think it's not even top 1,000. Yeah, it's 1367. That's a travesty. This game is fantastic, and I hope you go check it out because I know you won't disappoint. Normally I get scared about reviews. I say, oof, I hope they like it. I know you're gonna like it. That's how much I know. And if you don't like it, well, I'm sorry that you have no taste. Okay, with that note, I always like to alienate my viewers right as we get to the end. So screw you! Screw you, it's good!